Which leads me to my next story, America's decline as others see it from around the world. But before we do, let's take a quick break.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah. You know I'm always
Hi there, I'm Abby Kay. Welcome to the Creative Leadership Network, known as TCLN, where education is the specialty and solutions are the art. I brought this broadcast together so that we can rise above social, systemic, and spiritual issues that we face every day in our nation. The goal is to help us to do better, get better, and become better. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, make sure that your phone notifications are turned on so that you will not forget to be inspired and to stay informed. So with that being said, let's jump right in. Welcome back. This is a necessary conversation. How are different countries, nations, and even people from the continent of Africa viewing Americans today? As I said earlier, we was once a nation that everyone looked up to. Everyone wanted to come here, and some people still do. It's just unfortunately, everybody doesn't have the right agenda. That's why we're dealing with all of these things that are harming us as American citizens today. But let's take a closer look. Are we viewed as that beacon, as that light on the hill, as that land of opportunity? According to sources from other places, we're not. People are looking for other countries and other people to connect with so that they can build themselves up stronger. People often say America is being left to itself and by itself. I think that's a good thing. I don't think necessarily everything is negative. If you listen to what Africa has to say and other nations have to say, they're all focused on their country and their people. So why do we think that in America it's bad to be focused on our country and our people? Why come we can't go to borders without passports and without any type of citizenship and think that we can just go there and just rule and just get jobs and do whatever we want to do? But everybody think that this is the land where you should be able to do this. And if you speak up about it, somehow you're prejudiced, you're a bad person, you're a bigot. That's the wrong type of thinking. It always has been, it always will be. The right type of thinking, if you really want to be honest, is that the whole world is open to all humanity. Go as you please. But our world system is not set up that way. It's set up by borders, laws, and customs. So since it's set up that way, every other nation and every other country has theirs. Don't you think that Americans should have theirs? Which leads me into just how much America is disrespected. Now, I believe in Spanish, speaking Spanish. I believe in African, speaking African. I believe in Chinese, speaking Chinese. Why? Because we all speak something, do we not? We all come from backgrounds and we all speak something. But in the United States of America, our main language is known as English. So, unfortunately, and I do say unfortunately, because it's going to show you just how much people say they want to be in America, but they're disrespecting America. So is it the ideal that we be in America and that we all come together and we all get along and we all have jobs and we all have opportunities? Or is there something a little bit more sinister? Now, the young lady who sung the anthem for the Dodgers Stadium, yet, at least reported anyway, yet she decided that she was going to sing that anthem, which is a United States anthem for a team, in Spanish. Some people will argue, well, that's not wrong, and some people will argue, That's very wrong. I'm not here to argue it, but I do have an opinion. I believe that no matter how we feel, no matter what we are going through, at the end of the day, we are all different races, but our commonality is that we speak English. Now, we may go home, we may go home and go with each other, and we may speak Ebonics, we may speak Southern, we may speak whatever. But even Southern people know that when they get in their corporate jobs, you censor that Ebonics and you talk professional. Like they say, you have to understand your environments. People say that they want to be here. Okay, so then why fight with flags that don't represent here? Every country has a flag. If I went to Mexico and I took a flag of the United States of America or any other country, and I started parading myself with my flag in that country, they're gonna feel like I'm disrespecting them. I don't care how you try to argue it. I don't care how you try to manipulate it. Facts are facts. They're gonna feel like I'm disrespecting them. So again, not only is there disrespect in-house, there is disrespect out-house. But is it because we're just blatantly disrespected? Or maybe it's because we have been playing a con game for so long, disrespecting ourselves. When we don't respect ourselves, who else is going to respect us? We're considered as a joke, right? Right. If we don't stand for our laws and we don't stand for what's right and we don't do what's right, how are we going to expect other nations to respect us and other peoples? So I do want to leave that with you and leave that on your mind. The American dream has always been known as economic opportunity, the ideal that you can improve your financial status, own property, start a business, and send your children to college. Meritocracy, success is earned based on talent and effort, not inherited privilege. Freedom and individualism. You have the freedom to choose your own path in life. Social mobility, the belief that you can rise no matter what social class you come from through hard work. Now, we as Americans alone know that our families haven't always witnessed that ourselves haven't always witnessed that, no matter what races we are. Even some white people have not always witnessed that. So what's the problem then? What is the problem that Americans don't see what we used to see as the beacon and what the world doesn't see as the beacon anymore? What is the problem? Let's talk about it. Inequality, consumerism, debt, stagnation, poor leadership, all of those play a factor. Systemic issues like racial injustice, income equality, unequal access to education have made this dream dainty. Some argue that consumerism has become more about material wealth than meaningful fulfillment. Debt and stagnation, rising costs of living and student debt has made upward mobility more difficult. And this in turn helped others to see us totally different. From administration to caution, the global shift in healthcare, safety, better quality of life. American branding problem. Why is the housing so unaffordable? Why do many Americans work multiple jobs and still struggle? Why do student debt still run the lives of Americans? Why leadership is failing the people? These are some of the questions that people are asking across the globe. Now, even though people still want to come here in groves, what we are learning is that everybody doesn't have best interests at heart. As we find out, there has been people smuggling things into the American system as they come through, trying to affect our food supply. There has been other issues that has been going on, and we think that everybody wants to come here and everybody just wants opportunity, but sometimes people have wrong motives. America, we have a problem, and it's not just Houston. Where do we go from here? The truth told boldly, expose the gap between what is promised and what is delivered, call for courageous leadership and innovative systems, champion those creating new models, to not just fix old ones, and if you can't fix them, throw them out, but to create new ones. To really sit down, as I gave an example earlier about the police. Things have shifted over the last 20 and 30 years. We can't keep hollering race when all races are doing it. So how do we come together and say, hey, what are the actual issues and the actual underlying causes, which we know, because we know that it's meant to stop you and block you and hinder your progress in some type of way for groups of people. So we know that that's the underlying factor. So instead of us racing it all out, how do we sit down, come together, and really plan it all out and try to make this thing better? Solutions for these problems. Most of all, America needs a vision. I've said this plenty of times. Since a child, I have watched CNN. I have watched some of your most best reporters, from Dan Rather to all of the people you can think of, right? Barbara Walters, all the people, 60 Minutes, all of these shows. There has always been this bipartisan argument over abortions, economics, jobs, leadership in America. Nothing's changed. There's still the same arguments today. But the problem that the bipartisan parties forget is that you need a vision for those areas. You need a vision. There's one thing for us to go by the Constitution as a whole of a people, but you need a vision for economics. You need a vision for abortion. You need a vision for these different categories and a vision as a whole for the American people. Now, voting should not be based upon, oh, I don't like that, so we're going to vote for somebody else and we'll tear down what they build and we'll do it another. Oh, we don't like that, we're going to vote that down, we're going to tear down. Oh, when our office gets dominated, we're going to do that. That's crazy. And that's why this country is in trouble. That's why it's very, very distable. You should never run a country like that. You should run a country by a vision, a vision. And then when you vote, you are voting according to the vision, not this party or that party. Who would be the best party to carry out the vision so we can fulfill the vision, or what they call an American dream? So that would be my input on that, leading me to my next story. Men's mental health. Now, I have been talking about men, leadership, America's decline, police. All of these things are greatly tied to men. Men are dealing with a lot in our country. There's a lot of pressure who has been put on men. It's unfortunate. Culture and society has made men to think you should be this way, you should be the breadwinner, you should do this, you should not cry, you should not ask too many questions, you'll look like a punk, you look like a wimp, you should do that, this, and this, and that. And then once the world has placed those labels upon men, then they expect men not to be vulnerable. And then when men do get vulnerable, they mock them. And then they turn around and say, men, we need for you to be vulnerable. So it's like this going back and forth, right? It has made men very, very unstable. But what is the number one thing that is causing mental health in America that they say with men? Do you know what that number one thing is? That number one thing, according to Men's Mental Health Month, has to do with men hiding their financial situation.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide. We move forward like soldiers.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah. You know I'm always
Hi there, I'm Abby Kay. Welcome to the Creative Leadership Network, known as TCLN, where education is the specialty and solutions are the art. I brought this broadcast together so that we can rise above social, systemic, and spiritual issues that we face every day in our nation. The goal is to help us to do better, get better, and become better. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, make sure that your phone notifications are turned on so that you will not forget to be inspired and to stay informed. So with that being said, let's jump right in.